All right, everybody. Thanks for dialing in, everybody, and jumping on our Facebook Live. I want to go ahead and give you a quick little picture today of what we've got with our brand new D5 Dozer. We're also going to have a special little trip out to Edwards and do a little bit of work with our new D5. Well, actually, with the D6 XE out there, we're going to show you some slope assist as we get going as well too. So let me go ahead and kick it off here with just a little bit of information about the brand new D5. So here we've got our D5. And it's replacing the D6N. And so you can see it looks a lot like the D6N, in terms of the fit and finish of the tractor and also the size. We did add just a little bit of weight to the tractor, so you'll notice that it is up a couple thousand pounds on that LGP. And we also bumped the horsepower just a little bit on this tractor. So now this kind of follows in with our new lineup of dozers and kind of the new badging and the new nomenclature that we've got. Really coming to light this year. If you were at ConExpo or seeing any of the posts from ConExpo, you'll notice that we've got from the D1 all the way up to the D11 that we're talking about now. And we really showed off the D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6, and D7 at ConExpo. So really kind of showing what we've got there in terms of the new machines. So in terms of the new D5, we've got a handful of key value points on this machine. And so, we'll kind of cover those just a little bit here, but this tractor's got best-in-class performance out there in terms of lots of different applications, whether it's heavy dozing, finish grading, spreading material, grade control or not, the phenomenal performance of this dozer. So up to 50% more productivity with Cat Connect technology, a brand new cab for some really comfortable operation and a really nice place to spend your day. A little bit more power, a little bit more weight as well too, and then up to 10% lower maintenance costs. We got to talk a little bit about some of these guys. So in terms of best-in-class performance, this tractor is a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger. Again, a little bit more horsepower, a little bit more weight. But what we've done is we have kept the kind of that general balance that the machine always had. We have the same amount of track on the ground. It's the same idler to idler weight. And in terms of the weight in the tractor that we did add, it was really kind of in the center of that machine. We didn't hang it off the ends. So in terms of balance and the ability to do your heavy dosing work and also do your finish grading work, this tractor really does a nice job in terms of that. So the D6N has always been, I'll call it the best finish grader on the planet. Always been an excellent finish grading tractor. And the brand new D5 follows up in that suit. Again, great balance on this machine. Lots of track on the ground, and really a nice tractor to do that finish grading type work. Now, then you add the technology onto it, and whether it's 2D grade control technology such as slope assist, or full 3D grade control technology such as Cat Grade with 3D, you've got really the capability of the machine and the balance to do the job, and then you've got the speed of the hydraulics and the electronics to be able to control that blade at higher speeds. So in terms of grading, with technology, this is a really good platform. So the D5 has the very similar 3-speed fully automatic transmission that the D6N had. So really good power to the ground, very efficient, very long lasting. It is a lockup clutch transmission, good and durable, and really a nice transmission to be powering this tractor around. In terms of steering, we did bump up the steering performance of this tractor a little bit. So we gave it a little bit more power in a turn. We also made it to where it turns a little bit sharper. So we've increased the differential between the left and right track when you are in a steer. So it will turn a little bit tighter, a little bit faster as well too. And again, kind of help you get around those tight job sites and cycle that tractor a little bit quicker. So we've got some brand new technology that we've put in the powertrain as well too. So in addition to the tractor again being balanced, nimble, and quick in terms of finish grading and dozing, we've also got a few new powertrain features in here. Hill descent control helps to limit that speed as you're going down a steep hill, uses the brakes of the tractor as it needs to maintain that speed while you're going down a hill. D-cell brake pedal. So now, similar to the operation of, let's say, our new D6 XE dozer, when you push down on that brake pedal, it will decel the tractor all the way down to a stop. So if you want to do one pedal operation with this tractor, it's really easy to do. Just get on that decel pedal and you can modulate that speed from your fully commanded speed all the way down to a stop just with the decel pedal. Hill hold automatically flips those brakes on when you're in neutral on a grade. So if you're going up a grade and you flip that guy into neutral, it'll automatically stop and nice and smoothly and very confidently put those brakes on for you. And then steering radius control. Again, very similar to the D6XE. What we've done is when you want to go into a tighter turn, you just start to work on that decel pedal, and the farther down you push it, the tighter it turns that machine. We've got great feedback on the D6XE, and so we built that same logic into the brand new D5. So in terms of technology, this tractor really does have the kind of the full package of technology that we've got out here on our Dozer. So a brand new version of Stable Blade. Of course, we got Slope Assist, our two-dimensional grade control system. We've got Cat Grade with 3D, our 3D system. A couple of brand new features in here: blade load monitor and traction control. And then, of course, remote services such as remote troubleshoot and remote flash to be able to diagnose and flash those machines from over the air. Talk just a little bit about some of these technologies in here. So our second gen of Stable Blade, it's our brand new software and hardware. So we're using a brand new sensor that gives us more data and faster than the previous sensor did, and also brand new software. The algorithms in this for Stable Blade make it even smoother when you're running that tractor out there. So very useful when you're doing manual type of grading type work, where Stable Blade will help keep that blade nice and smooth, similar to what, say, image stabilization would do for your phone. So 3D grade control. So this is our brand new Cat Grade with 3D. We've moved away from the position sensing cylinders on this tractor, and we're using inertial measurement units now. So we've got 3 IMUs that are positioned on that tractor, on the blade, on the C-frame, and then on the body of the tractor. And then, of course, we use our 2 antennas and GPS receivers located on the top of the cab inside that air conditioner module right behind the cab. Out of sight, out of mind, very clean look, very sleek. You can see it in all the pictures here, how it sweeps the tree branches really well. You don't have to worry about knocking them off. And of course, you don't have to worry about them falling off the blade or cables run to the blade either. So really good in terms of the cleanliness of the design. And the best part about the whole 3D grade control system, though, is the monitor and the software. So this is our brand new 10-inch color touchscreen monitor. It's a beautiful monitor, runs just like a smartphone would. So you pinch to zoom, 2 fingers to swipe, push to click, push and hold to edit. Those are the 4 commands that you need to know to be able to run this 3D grade control system. So it really works well. The software on this has some phenomenal features in it that allow you to do really customize the appearance of the grade control monitor, and also really do the type of work that you want to do with that dozer. It allows you to even get in and do some basic type of designs right on the monitor without even needing to make them on a desktop and then pull it over as a design. So you can do some infield style designs right from the monitor. So really slick in terms of that. So a couple of new features over here: blade load monitor and traction control. Now, these are going to use GPS to determine how fast the tractor is moving. And then, of course, we communicate with the transmission to figure out how fast we're trying to move. As I like to say, the difference between what you're trying to do and what you're actually doing in terms of dozers is slip. If we detect high track slip, what we'll do is we'll detorque that engine just a little bit to try to help manage that traction. Now, what this is going to do is allow that operator either adjust his appetite, maybe change the bite that he's got on that load, pick the blade up a little if he wants to, or possibly turn around that or get around that part of that load to be able to continue working. What we're trying to do is just reduce that track slip, reduce the tendency to break that track free, and be able to do that. Traction control is a really good job for us there. Blade load monitor works with that as well too, in that it gives you a nice little visual indicator. That bar number 1 up there is going to slide back and forth. It's going to give you a little bit of a readout of how much blade load you have on that tractor. And again, it's using the amount of load that's on the tractor, but it's also using the slip to determine if you're starting to slip track. And when you start to see that, it'll go up into that 4 or 5 yellow or red range up there. And so you need to adjust your load to maintain traction and maintain that push. All right, let's talk a little bit about the business end for the operator here. One of the coolest things about this tractor, I think, is just the comfort in the cab. The larger doors that we have, the better visibility we have all the way around here. This cab is the same cab that we have on the D6, the D6XE, and also on the D7 that'll be coming out next year as well too. So in terms of comparing it to the D6N, it's a significantly larger cab. The doors are a lot bigger. Visibility is awesome all the way around, not just to the front, but also to the back too. So you've got great visibility all the way around there. You'll also notice that we lowered the nose of that tractor down just a little bit as well too. So you can see right over the nose of that tractor, we've got the air cleaner and the exhaust moved out of the way. So you've got a great line of sight straight down the front of that nose of that machine. So in terms of the creature features inside the cab, it's got our brand new next gen seat with up to 13 different adjustments on the seat. Airflow all the way around. We're bringing the air in the back. Obviously, our air conditioner's back there, our recirc filter and our fresh air filter, and we're bringing it up and over the headliner and then down on the B post. And so there's vents all the way around this tractor that really help you to get that air exactly where you want it on that operator and on the windows to defrost, and defog, and really comfortable in terms of that. Controls are pod mounted. They do have adjustments on them, so you can adjust your armrests. You can also adjust your controls back and forth, really getting those controls comfortable right where you need them. In terms of our monitor, it's got our brand new 10-inch color touchscreen monitor. So that's going to be the monitor that's on the top. And then there's another monitor on the bottom. If you go with a 3D grade control, that would be on the bottom. Now, you can swap them around. A little bit of hardware required, but you can swap those monitors around if you prefer to have your grade control monitor on top. So heated and ventilated option on the seat. To me, I love that. I think it helps to keep the operator nice and cool, or nice and warm in those winter months, and really does a good job for me. So nice cab. Just phenomenal in terms of spending some time in that cab and being comfortable all day long. So quick question coming in. Andy was asking, can we use the new D5 to replace an old D6? So I would say there's a couple of ways to look at this, right? Depending on which version of D6, you're talking about a D6H, D6R, D6T, and what vintage, right? And then also, or are you talking about a D6N? Obviously, the D5 replacing that D6N as a direct replacement in that 40,000 pound size class. When I start to take a look at some of these machines out here, say an old D6H, with a push arm blade, it's one of the key reasons that we're offering this brand new D5 here with a push arm blade. It's a 5.6 yard SU style blade, vertical lift cylinder, so it's got the balance up front here where we can get some good cutting capability and good loading capability on this. And I think that D5 with an SU blade would replace an old D6H and maybe even into an R. Now, when you get into a D6T, if you're talking about a heavy dosing situation where you're really using that 6.5, 7 yard blade capacity and that 50,000 pounds in that D6T, this 40,000 pound dozer is going to be a little bit tough to try to compete against that in heavy dosing situations. You get into finish grading situations or spreading type of applications. That's where the new D5 could certainly replace an old D6, D6R, or an old D6T, especially if you get into that finish grading type of work. That's where that D6, the D6R, D6T, with an SU blade or even with an old VPAP blade, this new D5 VPAP blade, 13.4 wide, is going to give you lots of capability and lots of production, really, when you're looking at finish grading. So kind of jump into kind of my last slide here in terms of this. This tractor does have a little bit more dosing efficiency, a little bit more drawbar power as well too. Very similar fuel burn to the old D6N. Maybe just a hair more because it is 4 more horsepower, but in terms of efficiencies, it's going to be just a little bit more efficient because of that extra power in there. 2 different blade choices, as I just mentioned in there. The VPAD design, our traditional 6-way blade, similar to what we had on the D6N, or that brand new SU push arm dozer. I think that's going to be a great machine for land improvement, maybe even some light clearing work, raking work, that type of application. Wind farms, solar farms, any place you need a versatile machine that you can float out on a lowboy really quickly and easily without getting crazy permits. I think that new D5 with the SU blade is going to be a nice little tractor. So now we talked a little bit about slope assist. So let's go ahead and jump out to Edwards. This is our Edwards Demonstration Learning Center. And we got a couple of guys out there that's going to talk us through and show us our how to use slope assist. Very similar to the D5, but we're going to take a look at it on a D6XE. So we got Josh and John out there, I believe.
Yeah, Sam, how you doing?
Doing fantastic. How about you guys?
Oh, not too bad. Yeah, I'm John Hood. I'm a demonstrator instructor out here at the Edwards Learning Facility, and I'm going to kind of go over slope assist with you. For those of you that don't know what it is, it's a system on this machine that gives the machine the ability to automatically control the blade at set different percents of slope, whether it's main fall or cross slope. Um, and the operator can set those to whatever he's trying to run. Really nice for the operator. Some of the benefits, it takes a lot of the guesswork of if you're trying to run a 1% cross slope or 2% cross slope, it kind of takes that guesswork out of where's my blade at? Like, is it at a 2%? I don't really know. Um, those slopes, those minimal slopes that are kind of hard to grade over long distances, it kind of takes the guesswork out of it. So it's a pretty nice system. Um, it comes straight from the factory, installed. You don't have to put any aftermarket slope sensors or harnesses on. It's all installed from the factory, and that's all standard. Um, Something else, we're just going to go over the symbols and the differences on the main fall and cross slope. So as you can see up here on the screen, as they switch over here, you got these two boxes up here at the top. This is your main fall. I kind of like to tell people if this machine's sitting on an axis, you got a line going perpendicular with the machine and one parallel with the machine. And that center point where those meet is this axis for this machine. You got your parallel axis, which is your main fall slope up here. And you can, this is your what your machine's actually sitting at right here. The top box on either side is what the blade is actually at right here. And then these two boxes underneath those are your target ID boxes or your target slope boxes. So main fall is the direction you're traveling, forwards and backwards, and your cross slope over here is your left to right, side to side. Um, so pretty simple. If I need to adjust these, I can tap minus, tap positive, go up or down, and it's pretty simple. If I'm dealing with dramatic slopes, all I simply do, raise my blade, and then this button down here is your match slope button. So if you press this button here, it's going to drive your target slope box down here to whatever percent your blade is sitting at. So as I lower my blade back down, get it back down close to zero, match slope, and then I can slightly adjust whatever I need to do. So, and then both each sides are pretty much similar, the same. They have the match slope and then your swap slope button over here on the other side. As you're traveling, you're making your finish passes. You're traveling one direction. You get down to the pass, you need to finish back the other direction. It's pretty simple. You can hit this swap slope button, and as you turn around, it'll just change the direction your slope's going. So you don't have to sit here and dial these slopes back in or raise your blade and then go back to your match slope. Something else I want to get into is things the operator needs to be aware of. Accuracy is a big one, and as we kind of go through this, the sensor on the front of this blade, as you change the different angle of this blade or the pitch of this blade, that sensor is going to move a little bit. And that's something the operator needs to be aware of. Your most accurate position is with the blade straight across. Each time you angle that blade, either to the left or the right, you're going to lose a little bit of accuracy. It's not much, not as much as it used to be. And another thing to watch out for is grouser penetration. So as you're traveling, as you're working the material, as you can see here, if you're on hard pack material and your grousers are sitting above, that's going to affect the way your blade is too. So if my grousers are on hard pack ground and my pads aren't on the ground, that blade's going to reference my pad. It's not going to reference the top of my grousers. So as I'm going over hard ground and into soft ground, it's going to change the blade slope, and the pitch of that machine. So that's something you got to be aware of. This machine with the slope assist, it doesn't have any reference to elevation. So it's pretty much as smart as the operator can make it. If I got to get myself established before I start running cross slope or before I start running main fall, because there's no reference elevation. There's no GPS or reference. There's no laser reference. So as I get into this, I'm going to start kind of cutting a simulated V-ditch to kind of show you what you need to do and how this system's going to react with different operator inputs. So I'm just going to kind of jump into it here. So as I get set, I'm going to adjust my blade. I'm going to try to cut about a 10% just for the sake of time. I'm going to match slope my main fall. I'm going to keep that pretty close to 0. And you'll see as I start to cut, the machine doesn't know my elevation. So as I'm cutting, I have to manually control the blade down to the elevation I want. So I'm going to start going, and once I get enough dirt to make my 10%, I go into my autos, and you can see the blade is automatically controlling, maintaining that 10% cross slope. And it's automatically maintaining my 0% main fall. And as I back up, make another pass, as I start to go forward, I can manually control my blade, kick it in autos. It's maintaining my 10%. If I need to raise or lower my main fall, I can automatically lift up my blade or push my blade down. And it will let me overtake, and then it'll go back to autos whenever I stop moving the joystick. So having that ability to kind of manually up and down with your main fall and not kick it out of autos, and it'll or automatically control your cross slope. That's a pretty nice feature. It comes in real handy, especially if you get into heavy loads. Then you can slightly raise up the blade, and it'll still maintain your 10% cross slope. And as I go up here, I'm going to push up, and then I'm going to turn around. I'm going to show you how that swap slope button works. Even though I'm maintaining 0% cross slope, I'm maintaining 0% main fall, and I go into my cross slope. As I go down, as you can see, my blade, well, you can't see my blade, but as I go up here, I just press this swap slope. You can see how these are opposite, right? So my 10% is this way, but my actual 6.1% is the opposite direction of that. So if I hit that, then they go back to the same direction, and I can maintain that cross slope that I was running, my 10%. It's a pretty nice feature. And then the user interface is pretty simple. It's real easy to train people on this stuff. One more thing I want to show you that operators kind of need to be aware of is building slopes. So as I come up to the slope, I can't just set my blade where I want it and hit autos and expect it to gradually work its way into the slope, right? So as I raise my blade all the way up, so we'll say 43%, say I'm going to build a slope a little bit steeper than a 3-to-1. I can match that slope there. And as I start to drive forward and I hit my autos, it's going to automatically raise my blade all the way up to 43%. So something you got to be aware of, you have to manually get the machine where you want it to be before you can start running your cross slope percentage on your slope on main fall or cross slope. So as you can see, that blade worked right back down, and it'll stay at that slope. Even as I back up, it's going to want to stay there. But that's just a few things you need to be aware of. Like I said, it kind of takes a lot of the guesswork out of what angles your machine's sitting at, what angles your blade are sitting at. I know there's probably some questions, but right now I'll flip it on back over to Sam, and he can take it from there.
Hey, John, one quick question.
Yeah.
Can the operator choose to select between the main fall and the cross slope and work those independently?
So yes, you can. You can turn one or the other off. As you can see, I just did there. You press and hold it and it turns it off. And then you can just work your cross slope or your main fall independently. And also, as you, like I said, as you are, you technically don't have to, you can manually override the main fall or cross slope as at any time with just manually moving your blade as well.
Thanks, John. We appreciate it. Nice work out there. We'll turn it over to Sam for the wrap up.
Yeah, awesome, guys. Thanks a lot. It's really cool to be able to see, see live and see what we're doing right out there in the arena, and that's pretty neat. I think folks like to see that stuff. So, slope assist, just like John was showing us there, really cool tool. Provides a little bit of automatics in terms of 2 dimensions. Doesn't use the GPS. We're doing that inside the building out there at Edwards, so it doesn't use the GPS. Does a nice job to give us that two-dimensional type of work that we can do with that slope assist. So did get one question and wanted to show real quick about foldable blades. One gentleman saying he really liked that foldable blade, and talk a little bit about that. The foldable blades are available on the in North America on the D6N, the old D6N, the old D6K, K2, and then also the brand new D5. So as you can see on here, we've got both on the XL or the standard gauge, the narrow track, the XL VPAT fine grading arrangement, and then the LGP as well too. So obviously a wider blade on the LGP, but it does fold as well. And the goal of that folding blade is to get that blade basically inside of the track width for transportation. It's not something you do as you're operating the machine, but it would be something that we would see in folks doing that in just for transportation. So if you've got an area that you're moving machines through where you do have width permits, or maybe you have trouble hauling that machine during the day because of traffic and width permits, foldable blades really good option for you there. So Taylor's asking what dozing projects are ideal for slope assist. Well, I tell you what, let me jump back up to that slope assist slide there, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So, in my opinion, slope assist is an awesome tool for a couple different things. It's going to help you to learn grades. If you're a little bit of a newer operator, right? You can set slope assist at that. Let's say you're just knocking off some truck dumps of material, and you just want to maintain drainage on that, right? Water always goes downhill, so we just want to maintain drainage. So we strike in at 2% in our main fall there, and then as I'm working those truck dumps off, I can lower my blade down, get it positioned, and kind of start that little bit of a pass. Click the auto button, have it lock in with slope assist, and then finish that pass out in a really nice smooth format there. So that's one that I think is really good. Any type of manual dozing work that you would normally do manually, slope assist can help you to hit a particular target slope that you're trying to hit, and then also be accurate within that slope, fairly accurate within that slope. Side to side slope assist really works great in terms of let's say I'm working on building a road ditch, and maybe I don't have a design on that, but I know that I want to get a 4-to-1 or say a 6-to-1 in that road ditch. Well, I can go ahead and use slope assist, just the main or the cross slope version, right? And I could set that to my 16%, 6-to-1, and then as I'm grading that ditch out, I'm automatically locking that into that 6-to-1. And of course, I can maintain my main fall with just manually. I don't have to have both of them onto automatics. I can do my main fall manually, but then I can go ahead and have my cross slope locked into that particular slope that I'm looking for. So for me, whenever I'm running a dozer, if I want it to look good, nice and smooth, and I'm trying to strike something off, I turn slope assist on. Even if it's in just the basic mode where I don't have a target dialed in, like John did there, even if I'm just in the basic mode and I'm manually running that blade, I'll go ahead and turn slope assist on just to help me keep that pad nice and smooth. So John, Josh, do you guys have any, what experience have you had running slope assist? What type of applications do you guys like to see it in?
Anytime we're maintaining fields, there's a lot of fields we have to maintain out here, and the same with our arenas. They're kind of flat, and if we're trying to make flat pads or running cross slope on a field, once you get your base established, it makes it really easy to pass match yourself working that 2% or 1% down across that field. So
kind of seems like a pretty good feature to help new operators kind of learn slopes, right? I mean, if you've not really spent a lot of time in a dozer, you don't know what a 5% feels like, right? Or a 2%. You guys see that in your training?
Getting used, it's all seat of the pants, right? So getting used to the feel of those small slopes, it's pretty tough to do. And it does really help out your green operators, your newer operators get used to cutting those small grades. Even getting them used to what the steep grades feel like, right? What a 3-to-1 feels like, or 2-to-1, or when you get in there real steep ones that you really don't like to be on, but it helps out for sure.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I've had a couple of customers ask me once, well, I've got 3D grade control. Why would I need to have slope assist? Slope assist comes with the ARO on the tractor, the attachment ready option. So you do have it on the machine, whether you have 3D grade control, activated or not on that tractor. And one thing I found is a lot of times you get into a job site, say you've got a nice big site prep job that you're working on. And when that model builder built that model, he got it all done for that site prep, but maybe he didn't get kind of some of the outside grades where you would tie it into that existing grade. Maybe they didn't get that on there. So I've seen folks use that to tie into an existing grade on the outside of a job site where they like I said, the design and the model wasn't out there, and so this gave the operators an opportunity to get that tied in kind of that existing grade out there and make a nice smooth transition for between the design and the existing grade. So seen that out there, and that to me is a good way to use it in relation, also using 3D grade control when you're on the job site and on the design, but then when you jump off that design, it gives you a chance to use slope assist as well too. So any other questions out there? All right, hearing none, seeing none. Just want to thank everybody for dialing in today and spending a little bit of time with us, taking a look at our brand new D5 dozer, taking a look at slope assist, and little demo of the operation of that. And look forward to seeing everybody next time. And make sure you dial up for the next Cat at Home live Facebook. So again, really looking forward to it. Thanks a lot, everybody, and we'll close her down for the day. Thanks again.